Hello, this is going to be lesson B5 on the properties of parallel and perpendicular line as well as writing equations. So we're going to start by talking about parallel lines. Parallel lines have the same slope and perpendicular lines have slopes that are negative reciprocal. What is a negative reciprocal? For example, if I have the slope 3, the negative reciprocal means I'm going to change the sign. So if here's positive, it becomes a negative, and I will flip the fraction. In other words, there's an invisible one here, so you flip the fraction. So let me give you another example. If I have the number, let's say negative 1/2, and I want the negative reciprocal would be change the sign to positive, and you flip the fraction. So the negative reciprocal of negative 1/2 would be 2. Let's try another one. Suppose I have 2/3, and I want the negative reciprocal. This would be negative 3/2. Okay? Alright, very well. Let's go on to the next side of the page. So here now, we're going to talk about, suppose I have some two equations, and I'm asked to determine if the lines are parallel, perpendicular, or neither. So basically what I'm going to do is, I'm going to find the slope of each equation. So here the y is alone, so the slope is going to be 1/5. Okay, on the next one I'm going to get the y alone, so this would be negative 10y equals 3 minus 2x. I'm going to divide by negative 10. So this would be y equals negative 3/10. And then negative divided by negative is a positive. And how do I reduce this fraction? This fraction then will become 1/5. Alright, very well. So then, once the y is alone, I can identify my slope. So my slope here is m equals 1/5. So if you notice, this line has a slope of 1/5. This line has a slope of 1/5. So that means the slopes are the same. So my conclusion is that the lines are indeed parallel. Okay, and this is a symbol for parallel lines. Okay, alright, let's go on to the next problem. Alright, the next problem is this one. So first step is get the y alone. So let's go ahead and get the y alone. This would be 2y equals 3 minus x, and then we divide this by 2. So y equals 3/2 minus 1/2 x. So now I have my equation there, and I know my slope is negative 1/2. Okay, let's do the same thing here. Get the y alone, so it'll be y equals 4 plus 2x. Okay, so the slope here will be 2. So if we notice, compare this slope with that slope, we notice that they're negative reciprocals. So therefore, we can conclude that these two lines are going to be perpendicular. Okay, let's go on to the problem letter C. Alright, letter C will be, we're going to get the y alone, so this would be 5 minus 3x. What is my slope? M equals negative 3. And this would be 3y equals 6 minus 2x divided by 3. Y equals 2 minus 2/3 x. My slope here then would be negative 2/3. Okay, if we compare the both slopes here, then we'll see that they are different. So we can write that they are neither. Okay? Alright, very well. Let's continue on to the next problem. Next problems are going to be practice problems. So why don't you stop the video and try these problems, and then when you get the answers, restart the video. Okay, welcome back. These are going to be the answers for the practice problems. So basically here the y is alone, so I know the slope is to be negative 5. And over here, this would be negative 5y equals 3 minus x. And we're going to divide by negative 5 on both sides. So this would be y equals negative 3/5. Negative by negative is a positive, so x over 5. So now the slope is, the equation, the y is by itself. So I can identify my slope, which is m equals 1/5. So if you compare these two slopes, I notice that the sign changes and the fraction flips. So this will be perpendicular. Alright, the next one is going to be letter B. So this would be y equals 11 minus x. My slope will be m equals negative 1. And then here will be y equals 11 minus 2x. And my slope is m equals negative 2. Okay, now if I compare these two slopes, the slopes are different, so I can write neither. Okay, alright, letter C. This will be, we need to get the y alone, so this would be 3y equals 21 minus 2x divided by 3. Y equals 7, and can I divide 2/3? No, so I leave as a fraction, so it would be negative 2/3. So that means my slope here is negative 2/3. Alright, then the idea is find the slope over here too. So we're going to divide it by 6. This would be y equals negative 4 divided by 6 is negative 2/3. Negative 2 divided by 6 is negative 1/3. So the y is alone. And now I can identify my slope, which is m equals negative 2/3. So the slopes are the same. So that means the lines are parallel. Okay? Very well. Let's go on to the next page. The next page we're going to talk about writing the equation of a line. Okay, so let me put the paper here so you can see it. Alright, now one thing we need to remember is equation of a line. Okay, there's different forms for equation of a line. Basically, we talked a lot about the slope-intercept form, which is y equals mx plus b. Now we're going to introduce two new formulas, which is y minus y1 equals x minus x1. Sorry for the typo here. Okay, this is called the point slope form. And we also have the standard form, which means a number in front of the x plus a number in front of the y equals a number. And all these numbers are whole numbers. Okay, so basically on this problem we're going to be asked to write the equation of a line given with the given information. So in example number 2, it says write the equation of the line with the y-intercept 0, negative 3 and the slope 1/4. First thing you need to do is identify what is the problem giving me. Well, first of all, they are giving me the y-intercept, which is b, which is negative 3. And then the problem is also asking me to, giving me the slope, which is 1/4. So can I write the equation of a line with that information? Yes, I can. Equation of the line, as we learned, is y equals mx plus b. And all we have to do is plug it in. So this would be 1/4 x minus 3. So that's the equation of my line. Very well. Let's go on to example number 3. Find the equation of the line with slope negative 3 and point 1, negative 5. Write your answer in slope-intercept form. Slope-intercept form means y equals mx plus b. So let's see what information the problem gave us. The problem gave us a slope, negative 3, and gave us a point of 1, negative 5. Well, to write the equation, then we're going to use the new formula called the point slope form. which is y minus y1 equals mx minus x1. And we're going to call this guy x1 and this guy y1. So this would be y minus 5 equals the slope -3, x minus 1. Okay, I want in slope-intercept form, so that means I need to get the y alone. Also notice that this is y plus 5, right? Because a negative becomes a positive. I'm going to distribute the -3, so this would be -3x plus 3. And this would be y equals -3x plus 3 minus 5. So y equals -3x minus 2. Okay? Alright. So we wrote the equation of the line that goes through that point. Basically, what we've done is, here's the point 1, -5. So we're just doing a little sketch over here, okay? Alright, so basically there's the point right there. And basically what we did is come up with the equation of the line that goes through here and has a slope of -2. Okay? And that's basically what this equation means. That's the equation of the line that goes through this point and has a slope of -3. Okay? Same thing here. We basically, I'm going to do a little sketch over here. Okay? I have the point 0, -3, and I found the equation of the line that goes through this point and has a slope of 1/4. So basically the equation of this line is 1/4 x minus 3. Okay, now this is just a sketch. You don't have to do this. I'm just doing this so you can see and understand what we're doing with these formulas. Okay, alright, the next one. The next one is says find the equation of the line through points 4, 0 and -4, -5. So basically now they did not give me the slope, but they gave me 2 points. This point and this point. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to use x1, y1, x2, y2. Now with that information, I'm going to use that formula to find the slope, which is y2 minus y1, x2 minus x1. So y2 is -5 and y1 is 0. x2 is -4 minus 4. So this would be -5 over -8. Now negative and negative becomes a positive, so it would be 5/8. Very well. Now that we have that, now we can use this formula right here, y minus y1 mx minus x1. This here is called the point slope formula. Basically you need a slope, which we have, and a point. We have 2. So basically all we're going to do is plug it in, and if you notice we already label x1 y1, so I'm just going to copy there. Y1 is 0. My slope is going to be 5/8 x minus x1 is 4. So this is y. Then I can do 5/8 times x is 5/8 x, and 5 times 4 is 20. Okay, and 20 divided by 8, can I divide 20 by 8? No. So what you might want to do is just write it 20 over 8. Okay, instead of trying to do everything in your head. And then you say, okay, can I divide 20 by 8? No, I can't, but I can reduce. So my answer would be 5/8 x minus, if I divide top and bottom by 4, this would be 5/2. Okay, now we got the y alone. The problem asks us to write in function notation. Basically what function notation is instead of using y, you're going to use the function notation, which is f of x equals 5/8 x minus 5 over 2. Okay, so let me do a little sketch over here. So basically what we just done is we had 2 points, 4, 0 and -4, -5, and we found the equation of the line that connects these 2 points, and we found out that the y-intercept is going to be a -2.5, right, because 5 divided by 2 is 2.5, and we have a slope of 5 over 8. Okay, so basically that's exactly what we did. Remember, you don't have to do the graph. I'm just doing it to illustrate what is happening. Okay, alright, next one, the problem asks us to find the equation of the line that has been graphed. Write the equation in standard form. Okay, if we have a graph, we can just pick 2 good points, similar to the problems we did before. Okay, so basically, if I chose these 2 points, my slope is going to be rise over run. So my rise here would be 3, and my run would be 4. So that was pretty easy. I found the slope. Now the y-intercept, before, it was the graphs that we did before on prior lessons, the y-intercept was easy to identify because it was right in the intersection of the grid line. But if you notice on this problem, that's not the case. The y is kind of hard to determine. You know, is it 2.7? Is it 2.8 or 2.9? We don't know. So what we're going to do is you're going to use the formula y minus y1 equals mx minus x1. Why we're going to use this? Because we have the slope, which is 3/4, and for a point, we're going to just pick a point on the graph. Because we have many points, we can pick this one, have this one, this one. So let's go ahead and pick this one. This one here would be point -1, 2. Alright, so with that, we're going to put -2 for y1, and we're going to put -1 for x1. Notice there is a negative that comes from the formula and a negative that comes when we plug it in the value of x1. Alright, let's move the 4 to the other side. So this would be 4 y minus 2, and this is 3 x plus 1. Alright, 4 times y is 4y, 4 times 2 is -8, 3 times x is 3x, and 3 times 1 is 3. Now let's talk about standard form. Standard form means you have a whole number, you have whole numbers, and is in the form of ax plus by equals c. So basically, the number with the x has to be on the left, so we're going to move that 3x to the other side. The number with the y stays on the left side, so we just leave it there. And the numbers without x are going to go to the right, so this would be 3 plus 8. And so this would be 3x plus 4y equals 11. So this would be my standard form. Okay. Now, if this was a multiple choice test and you don't see this as one of the possible multiple choices, what you can do is multiply everybody by -1, and if I multiply everybody by -1, this becomes 3x minus 4y equals -11. So the final answer could be written this way or this way. There is some debate if standard form is only with positive number in front of the x, but I have seen before on multiple choice tests that the problem asked us to write in standard form, and this was acceptable. Okay, so if you can have a negative in front of the 3x, or you can make sure that there is no negative by multiplying by -1. Okay, so both of these answers would be correct. I mean, they're basically the same thing. Okay, alright, we're just changing the signs of every one. So basically what we've done is find the equation of the line, that was given here for us, okay? And we use the point slope form, okay? Alright, very well. Let's go on to the next problem. Let me put the problem right there. Alright, now we're going to talk about vertical and horizontal lines. And I made a mistake here. This is supposed to be a horizontal line. Okay. Very good. Okay, so this was a typo. Find the equation of the horizontal line containing the points 2, 3. Anytime you see a problem that asks for the horizontal vertical lines, the best strategy to do is to do a sketch. So let's do a sketch right now. The problem is giving us a point 2, 3. So 2, 3 would be somewhere in here. Okay. Alright. And the problem wants a horizontal line. So horizontal line will look like this. Okay. So this is 2 and this is 3. Okay. Horizontal line, if you remember, it always starts with an X. I'm sorry, it starts with an Y. So horizontal line always starts with an Y equals a plane number. How do I find that plane number? Where does this line crosses the axis? It crosses it at 3. So that would be your equation. And you're done. Okay. With the same idea, we're going to look at that next problem, which asks for a vertical line that goes through that point. So basically, you do a sketch. So 1, 2, 1, 2, 3. There's my sketch. And I want to do a vertical line. So a vertical line goes like this. And the vertical line, again, is the letter X. Letter X equals a plane number. And that number is where the line crosses the x-axis. So the x-axis would be a 2. So vertical lines and horizontal lines cross the axis. Which axis does this guy cross? The x-axis. So the x equals that number. The horizontal line crosses the y-axis. So is the y equals, where does it cross? At 3. So horizontal and vertical lines, the best strategy I have for you is to do a sketch and see how does this graph look like. Okay, so let me move on to the next problem. Okay, next problem is example number 8, and we're asked to find the equation of the line containing the point 3, 1, and that is parallel to the line 2x plus 3y equals negative 6. Write your answer in slope-intercept form. Alright, very good. First thing I notice is that it asks for parallel line. So I immediately think parallel lines have the same slope. So let's first find the slope of this line. So basically I have 2x plus 3y, and I need to find the slope. So let's move the 2x to the other side. So this would be 3y equals negative 6 minus 2x. And this would be, I'm going to divide it by 3 on both sides. So this would be y equals negative 2. Negative 2/3 is negative 2 over 3. Okay. Alright, so I got my y by itself. So that means my slope is negative 2/3. That's the slope of this line. The problem is asking us to find the equation of a line that is parallel to this equation. So if I want a parallel line, we need to look at the definition of parallel lines, which says parallel lines have the same slope. So in other words, the slope of the parallel line will be negative 2/3. Okay? So I have a slope and I have a point that they gave me. So let's use our favorite formula, the point slope formula. Okay, so we're going to plug it in. So this would be y minus 1 equals the slope that we found, which is negative 2/3. And this would be x minus 3, which is x1. We're going to move the 3 to the other side. So this would be 3 y minus 1. Bring down the negative 2. This would be x minus 3. Alright, so now let's distribute the 3 and the 2. So this would be 3y minus 3. And this would be negative 2x plus 6. Alright, now our job is to get in slope-intercept form, so we're going to get the y alone. So this would be 3y equals negative 2x plus 6 plus 3. And we're going to combine like terms, so it will be 3y equals negative 2x plus 9. And to get the y alone, we're going to divide it by 3. So y equals negative 2/3 x plus 9. Alright, so that will be the equation of the line that goes through that point and is parallel to this line. Okay, I have here underneath on the page, on the bottom of the page, a coordinate plane, which I like to use to illustrate what we just done. Okay, you don't have to do this for any problem. It just helps you understand what is that we're doing. Okay, so basically what I'm going to do is, the problem start out by saying there's a point 31. So 31 is right there. And then it says, find the equation of the line that goes through this point and is parallel to the line 2x plus 3y equals negative 6. So basically what we did, we solved this for y and found out that with the y alone, this equation would be negative 2, negative 2/3 x. Okay? So, and we also found that the slope here was negative 2/3. So basically, if I was to graph this line, it would start at negative 2, then I would go down 2 over 3, and down 2 over 3, down 2 over 3. And then I go back to the starting point, up 2 over 3, up 2 over 3, up 2 over 3. So now I'm going to connect the points. Okay, and basically our job was to find the equation of the line that goes through this point and I noticed I made a mistake here. 9 divided by 3 is 3. I apologize for that. Alright, so I noticed then that I got a new equation which starts at 3, and the slope would go down 2 over 3, down 2 over 3, down 2 over 3. So down 2 over 3, down 2 over 3, and then up 2 over 3, up 2 over 3, up 2 over 3. So basically that's the new line that I found, and that line goes through the point 3, 1 and is parallel to the original graph that they gave us. Okay, so that's basically what we did. And again, I apologize, 9 divided by 3 is 3. You know, sometimes we make those little mistakes. Okay, alright, let's go on and move on to the next problem. Alright, next problem is example number 9, and is asking find the equation of the line containing the point 4, 4, and that is perpendicular to the line 2x plus 3y equals negative 6. So basically we're gonna get the y alone first. So this would be negative 6 minus 2x. I'm going to divide it by 3. This would be y equals negative 2, and negative 2/3 x. Alright, now the y is alone. I know that my slope is negative 2/3, and my slope, my I noticed that the problem asked me to find the perpendicular line to this. So perpendicular lines have negative reciprocals on their slopes. So that means this is the equation of the line. The new line is going to be perpendicular, so that means I need to find the negative reciprocal of negative 2/3. Negative reciprocal means I change the sign to a positive and I flip the fraction, which it becomes 3/2. So now I have my slope of the line that I want. I know that the point it crosses is x1, y1. So let's use that formula. Y minus y1 equals m x minus x1. Alright, so with that, we're going to plug it in. So y1 is 4. My slope is 3/2. And this would be x minus 4. Very well. Now let's solve for the problem was in standard form. Okay, so let's first get rid of the fraction by moving the 2. This would be 2y minus 4 equals 3x minus 4. Very well. Now let's just use distributive property. So this would be 2y minus 8, and this would be 3x minus 12. And then we're going to move the 3x to the other side, so it'll be minus 3x plus 2y. And we have the negative 12 on here. We're going to move the 8 to be positive 8. Alright, so now this would be negative 3x positive 2y equals negative 4. So that would be the equation of the new line in standard form. Okay. Now, I also again provided you here a graph just to illustrate what's going on. Okay. The problem gave us a point. Okay. The point was 4, 4, which is right there. The problem gave us a line, which was 2x plus 3y equals 6, and asked us to find the equation of a new line that would be perpendicular to this line. So let's first draw this line so you can see on the graph. So the equation would be this one, y equals negative 2 minus 2/3 x. So let's come over here, and here I see that the slope is negative 2/3 and my b is negative 2. So I'm going to graph this line right there, which starts at negative 2, and then it goes down 2 over 3, down 2 over 3, down 2 over 3, and then up 2 over 3, up 2 over 3, up 2 over 3. Okay, so basically this is our line. And basically what we're trying to do is find the equation of a new line that's going to come in, be perpendicular to this line, and is going to touch that point. So through our calculations, we came out with this equation. Now to be able to graph this equation over here, okay, and please remember we're doing all this stuff in here just to illustrate. Okay, basically we're done with the problem. The answer is right there. Okay, but we're trying to understand what we're doing here by visualizing on the graph. Okay, so this would be negative 4 plus 3x. We divided by 2. So this would be y equals negative 4 divided by 2 is negative 2, and this would be 3/2x. Okay, so that means here my slope is 3/2, and my b is negative 2. So is that right? Yep. So start at negative 2, and then we'll go up 3/2. Let me do it in blue here so it stands out. Okay. Up 3/2, up 3/2, up 3/2, and then downward, down 3/2, down 3/2, and that's our points. And if you connect the points, we see that there's a perpendicular line, forms a 90-degree angle, and goes through that point that we wanted. Okay? Alright, so let's go on to the next problem. Okay, let's continue the problem, and I'm going to do example number 10. And basically, it's going to be word problems using equations of a line. Okay, so let's see how we can use what we learned to solve these word problems. In 2002, a real estate company sold 200 houses, and in 2007, it sold 275 houses. Use these figures to predict the number of houses this company will sell in 2016. So basically, the problem is giving me 2 points. The 2 points are 2002 and 200 houses, and the other point is 2007 and 275 houses. Okay, so basically here I have my 2 points, and I'm going to label them x1, y1, and then x2, y2. So basically I can create an equation from this information. Okay, so basically look for a pair of numbers, how you can pair numbers. Okay, also we usually don't like to use the year, so we usually take the smallest year and put as the base year. So we put the base 0. Okay, so whenever you have years, change that to 0. And then 2007, how many years has gone by since 2002 if I'm in the year 2007? Well, 2007 minus 2002 has been 5 years. So that means my slope will be y2 minus y1, x2 minus x1. So y2 is 275 and y1 is 200. Alright, now we're going to do x2 minus x1, which is 5 minus 0. This is 75 over 5. 75 over 5 is 15. Alright, so now let's find the equation of the line by doing y minus y1, m x minus x1. Our y1, where we wrote it there, is 200, and my slope is 15, and x minus x1 would be 0. So this would be y minus 200. Let's use the distributive property here, and this would be 15x, and 15 times 0 is 0, so I don't have to write the 0 there. And let's get the y alone, so this would be y equals 15x plus 200. So that's the equation of my line that represents this situation. Basically, if I was to graph this, okay, I'm going to do a little sketch here. Let's imagine here's 200 houses, and every year that goes by, I'm selling 15 more houses than the year before. So every year my sales are going like this. I'm selling 15 more. Okay, and the question is, at the year 2016, how many houses would I have sold? Would I sell? Well, if you notice here, this is x, this is y. X is representing the year, y is representing the number of houses. So I'm going to use this equation here, and I'm going to plug it in the year for x, because basically the question is, in 2016, how many houses will I sell? Well, first of all, let's change 2016, subtract from 2002 to 14. So in 14 years, how many houses will I be selling? So let's check it out. So that would be 15 times 14 is 210 plus 200 equals 410. So what happened here, I was able to use equations to predict the number of houses in 2016, assuming that the growth of this company, the real estate company, is going to be continuous. Okay, it's going to be constant. Every year is going to sell 15 more houses than the year before. Alright, let's continue on to the next problem. Let's do example number 11. Let me put it up here. There we go. Okay, suppose I have a t-shirt company that has sorry about the typo there. A t-shirt company has learned that by pricing their t-shirts at $6, sales will reach 2,000 t-shirts per day. So raising the prices to $8 will cause the sales to fall to 1,500 t-shirts per day. Predict the daily sales of t-shirts if the price is $7.50. Always look for pairs of numbers. So I have $6 and 2,000 shirts. The other pair would be $8 and 1,500 shirts. Okay? Now, with that, I'm going to find the slope. So this would be x1, y1, x2, y2. Okay? So this would be 1,500 minus 2,000 and 8 minus 6. So this would be negative 500 over 2. So this would be negative 250. Alright? Okay. So, now let's do our equation. Y minus y1, x minus x1. So y1 will be 2,000. My slope will be negative 250. And my x1 will be 6. So this would be y minus 2,000 equals negative 250x. Negative 250 times 6 is positive 1,500. Now let's get the y by itself. So let's move the 2,000 to the other side. So this would be negative 250 x plus 1,500 plus 2,000. Alright, so that means my equation that represents the situation would be negative 250x plus 3,500. So that is my equation. Alright, but we're not done because the problem asks us to predict when the prices of t-shirts are $7.50. Now remember, whenever in doubt, look over here at your order pair and you notice that the money is for X and the number of shirts is Y. So I have my equation. And I have the value of X, which is 750. So we're going to plug that in and find out how many t-shirts should we expect to sell if the price is 750. So negative 250 times 2.5 is negative 1875 plus the 3,500. We should expect to sell 1,625 t-shirts. Okay? Alright, let's go on to the next problem. Next problem says, sales of hybrid vehicles have been decreasing for the past few years. In 2007, 356,000 new hybrid vehicles were sold in the United States. In 2009, only 290,000 were sold. Let 0 corresponds to 2007, predict the number of hybrids sold in 2015. So that's similar to example number 10, where we have two pairs. One has the year 2007 and 356,000, and the other pair is 2009 and 290,000. Alright, they'll probably even remind us that if we have years, we want to change the 2007 to 0 to make things easier for us. So this would be 356, and 2009 minus 2007 is 2 years. Okay, with these two pairs, then I can find my slope, which would be 290 minus 356 over 2 minus 0. So that's negative 66 divided by 2, and this would be negative 33. Okay, notice that I didn't use thousands, like 3 zeros after at the end of these numbers, because I know that these numbers are representing thousands. Okay, so this is 33,000 less cars sold per year. Okay, that's what the slope means. Alright, let's plug it into the formula y minus y1, mx minus x1. Alright, remember this is x1, y1, x2, y2. So plug it in the numbers in the formula. It would be y minus 356. The slope would be negative 33. X minus the x1 would be 0. So this would be y minus 356 minus 33x. And if we want the y alone, we're going to move the 356 to the other side. So it would be negative 33x plus 356. Alright, very well. So now we have our equation, and we're going to plug it in the new year, which is 2015. We want to find out how many cars we're going to sell in that year. So what we do is 2015 minus 2007 means 8 years. So we're going to use that formula. And we're going to plug it in 8 for x. So negative 33 times 8 is negative 264. And if we subtract that, y equals 92. And that is our answer. Okay, so that means in the year 2015, we should expect to sell 92,000 cars. Okay? Alright. Here's our last example, example number 13. And this problem says the number of recreational visits to national parks in the United States increases by 9.3 million visits each year. In 1990, there were about 263 million visits. Let 0 corresponds to 190. How many visits will there be in 2013? Well, there's something different about here because we only have one pair of numbers. We have 1990 and 263 million. But there's no other pair. But there's this information, 9.3 million visits each year. And what that means, that is your slope. That's your rate of change, 9.3 million visits per year. Okay? So basically we have enough information to create our equation. Okay? Basically we have year, so we're going to call this year 0, 263. So this would be y minus y1, mx minus x1. So this would be y minus 263. Our slope is 9.3. And this would be x minus 0. So my equation would be y minus 263 equals 9.3x. If we move that 263 to the other side, this would be y equals 9.3x plus 263. So that's the equation representing our problem. Okay, now that we have that, we're going to try to find in 2013 what's going to be the number of visitors. Okay, so we have y equals 9.3x plus 263, and we know the number of years is the first coordinate, so which is x. Now, how many years has gone by since 1990 if I look at 2013? Well, basically just subtract. 2013 minus 190 is 23 years. Okay, so we're going to plug that in here, and y equals 213.9 plus the 263. The number of visitors then would be 476.9. Alright, so that would be our answer. So this concludes lesson B5, and thank you very much for your time, and have a great day. Goodbye.